Welcome to the To Fight For podcast. I'm Jamie.
And I'm Heather. We're offering you a seat at our table to join our conversations, which center on healing through reimagining hospitality in relationships. This season, we are focusing on building and maintaining authentic, healthy friendships.
Our friendship has been through the ringer, but now it's stronger than ever because we chose to fight for it. Our hope is to inspire you to fight for yours. Hello, listeners.
Hey there.
So today, I think what we should do, Heather, is do a check-in of where we are at currently in our life, talk about 2025 and things that we've been struggling with, challenges, our celebrations, looking at our life and doing some self-reflecting, essentially live. I know we're not live, but you all get to listen to this, and we have not talked about anything. We tell our listeners to self-reflect, to look at their relationships, to look at their family dynamics, look at how their past trauma is affecting things currently in their life. So I think it's only fair that we do that right now.
You know, this is one of those moments where I just don't like you.
Totally unscripted. And here we go.
Okay, great.
I know you're so excited.
Well, hey, maybe I'll just let you go first. I know role playing. I understand the importance of role playing, but like I've had enough. Like it is hard to walk through role playing with you because I feel like I'm getting punched in the face. So just no role playing today.
Okay, no role playing. So you want to talk about 2025? You want to talk about what's happening in our life currently? What do you want to do?
Recap. Yeah, like almost like a highlight reel, but like deep, intimate dive. So highlight not what we would post on social media for the world to see. That would be all the awesome high point moments, but a highlight as in these are the moments that are going to stand out from 2025 and they can be good or bad.
Okay. So I'm trying to think the top things from 2025 in my life. So many of the things that are coming to mind right now involve
Me.
Yes, involve you and my family. My family is in a lot of them. One thing I did is had a career change.
Yeah, that's big for you.
Again, you guys, I get stagnant, and when I feel like I can't be challenged anymore, it's hard for me to stay happy. I know people joke and they say to me, oh, there she goes again, changing where she's working or kind of doing some other things, some new things. That's because I like to grow. I want to try new things. Once I feel like I have reached the ceiling on certain things, it's time for me to move on.
I think that's good. I think that's okay.
So,
because everywhere that you go, you're learning something about yourself.
Yeah.
And you're equipping yourself for the next thing.
Truth. So I didn't ever stop doing individual counseling per se. But I did go back to teaching, was in teaching for 3 years.
But now you're with Little Nuggets.
Oh gosh, yes, I am. So that was such a big change. I've only ever taught in a public school or private school, older kids. Middle schoolers are my jam. And I know some of you are like, ugh, I hate middle schoolers. They're so annoying and immature. I like them. I like middle schoolers. You can kind of shoot things back and forth to them, and they tend to be raw and real, and they just spit things out and causing you to have really great conversations with them. I think also high schoolers do the exact same thing. I like them. I like adolescence. I like that awkward phase, probably because I am awkward at times. And I know that about myself. So yeah, I did do that. Stopped working, teaching per se, adolescence. And now I'm with tiny little peanuts. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. But that was a really, really big change for me. I went from, you don't really hug your students. in junior high to working with these tiny little nuggets who just want to hug me and sit on my lap and touch my hair. That was that was quite a change for me.
Hmm. Look at you. You're just getting all soft.
Oh, yes. So there was that. It was a good change. It was a difficult change. It was not one of my giftings to work with tiny little humans, but it is a challenge and I'm loving it because it is a challenge and I like challenging things. I want to be challenged and I want to be able to grow and figure out different ways to connect with people and students and age groups. So that has been a really great thing from 2025. My family has come more, I guess, more concrete, I would say. We have signed some paperwork, and our family of six is staying a family of six, much longer term than it was kind of in this unknown phase. And so, for those of you who are listening who don't know my personal life, I have three biological boys. And almost 2 years ago, we took in a female teenager, a girl. And some of you might be like, you're freaking crazy.
She is.
I mean, I am. My husband says to me, you are crazy and you want to do all these things. And sometimes I'm like, all right, let's just do it, Jamie. I don't know. This is crazy, but sure, let's just try it. So we did. We had always talked about adoption and stuff, but we had taken in somebody who I had already had connections with. So we were kind of in this place of the unknown because that's just how the system works. When you're a foster parent, they don't really tell you crap because you have less legal rights and things.
It's constantly changing,
And
right?
yes, and it is constantly changing. So we were in this unknown stage, and that became more concrete at the end of the year. So we will be staying a family of six. Yeah, so that's exciting. I've learned a lot about myself having a female daughter, being the only female in the house for many, many years. And then bringing a female in, a teenager at that, has caused me to do a lot of self reflecting and checking of maybe some of the things that I say to my boys, which are interpreted differently when you say it to a female. When you bring someone else into your family, you realize that they have their own things that they're working on and dealing with, as we all do. And she's not the only one. My sons also, and my husband. But it was a different type of reflection and empathy walk that I had to do in 2025. Yeah.
That's good.
Gosh. And then let's talk about the negative part of 2025, because this is not a highlight reel. Let's talk about the perimenopause.
Oh my
symptoms.
gosh. We could have like a whole season on that.
Oh,
It's just ridiculous.
that is something. Oh my gosh. If I could throw 2025 in the garbage, it would be because of my lack of sleep. This freaking perimenopause symptom of not sleeping. I did some research and it is a real fact, people, that females who are in perimenopause tend to have this witching hour and wake up between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. like clockwork every single night. And I will be damned, it happens to me. Every single night. Mine is between 2 and 3 a.m. I wake up and I'm like, what time is it? Am I supposed to start my day right now? Am I ready to go? No, it's 2 a.m. It's 2:35, something like that. So that has not been so great.
And while you're awake between the hours of 2 and 3 a.m., I'm trying to slide my whole body into a refrigerator between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. So, I mean, we each have our struggles.
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. I mean, if you hang out with Heather, you go out to coffee with her, you go out to breakfast, just be prepared. It is real. Between 9 and 10 a.m., she typically will have a hot flash and you can see it. You could be talking to her and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, here it comes. Here it comes. Full force train.
Whatever's on the table, a napkin, whatever. I'm fanning myself. I'm trying to release the air in my collar. Oh my gosh, it's brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
My goodness. Let's see. What else? There's been a lot of medical issues with some of my extended family. So that's been a little rough, stepping in with a little bit of time that I have here and there, helping out. I live on this family compound, I call it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, though.
And my in-laws live on the same road as us.
It's like a driveway.
It's like a driveway. So when you come in, you can go to one side, go to the left, and that's where my in-laws live, or you can go to the right, and that's where I live. But on the other side of my house is my mother. So last year, we decided to move my mom from the suburbs to where we currently live. She lives next door to me in her tiny house that we built her. Used to be a chicken coop, and we turned it into a tiny house for her. It's actually not tiny.
Not an authentic tiny house that you're picturing from the HG Network or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's
But
like
now
it's
people
like
are
an
picturing
apartment.
a chicken coop. So.
Yes, yes, true. It was a very large chicken coop that we turned into. I guess I should really call it an apartment.
For sure.
So my mom lives next door, and that I love her dearly, but that has brought its own challenges because if you've listened to some of our other podcasts, my childhood and relationships were not always super positive. So that has caused some difficulties, definitely a growth point for me, but it's also difficult because not everybody always wants to grow at the same rate that you are growing or wants to grow in general. It's just been hard. It's been very hard at times, and I've struggled in that because I feel like my mom lives next door to me, and I know there's people listening who probably don't have their mom anymore, and you would give anything to have that relationship with your mom. And so sometimes I have this guilt, which I know it's not how I should feel, but I feel guilty that I don't have a better relationship. But I've also accepted that's the way that it has to be right now.
Yeah. You can't compare yourself to other people's story. Everybody has their own journey and their own story, and yours is uniquely yours. And it's okay to fully embrace that.
Yeah. Thanks. So, Aunt Heather does keep me in check. Did you invite your mother to this event? And I'm like, no, I did not. Well, damn it, Jamie, you should. So there's also that. But I think that's really all that's coming in my brain right now. So have you come up with anything, since this was all spur of the moment on the spot here?
I've been listening to you, so I haven't really had much thought time.
Oh, active listening right there, everybody. Active listening.
I'm really good at that. I think the year for me. So I'm going to approach my exegetical analysis of 2025 differently than you. I love words of the year. And so this time every year, at the start of a new year, I revisit the past year and my word that I chose for the year. And I look at it and flip it around and upside down and all the things and see how it played out in my life. And I live intentionally through that word throughout the year. So 2025, my word was run. And the backstory is that I like your word stagnant. I went from a season of stagnance in personal growth, I'll say, because I think my personal growth season of stagnance aligns with being a young mother. And I think I lost myself when I was a young mom and I was a stay-at-home mom. I lost myself. I completely was wrapped up in my kids and everything was about my kids. And if I'm being honest, serving my husband and taking care of my husband, so much so that I was neglecting my own needs for pretty much everything, whatever stimulated me. I'm a creative person. I was not creating. And so I found myself in seminary challenging a lot of theological foundations in my life and reorienting myself around my values and systems that existed in my life, relational systems. And so as I've progressed throughout the last maybe 5 or 6 years, it's been every year has served as a stepping stone on the other one in terms of my growth, reclaiming my identity and who I am apart from motherhood and a wife, but who Heather is, what makes me feel alive, how I feel like I'm serving, how I'm using my gifts, my abilities, how I am actively pursuing the things that I feel like I want to contribute to the world. So this last year was run. For me, it was a motivational word to keep me moving because so often I am the person that stands in my own way. I shut myself down. I talk myself out of opportunities or moving forward in my dreams because I think, can I actually do this? I carry a lot of self-doubt. So that's something that I've had to battle. And this word run I encompassed as an encouragement to me to keep moving. And so with this podcast and with the development of our business, all of this has been one big giant running motion for me to keep moving forward. I also am a writer and I've been writing more. Not over the past couple months because I've been very focused on this element of our podcast, but as I'm looking forward and I'm jumping ahead a little bit into 2026, I want to start writing the book that I have been meant to write forever.
Okay, everybody. I keep telling her this. Why are you not writing this yet? You just put it out there for everyone to hear.
Hold me
I love it. I love it.
Are you writing this book yet?
Are you writing it? You guys need to help me hold her accountable because this is something she's been talking about for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing? Stop dragging your feet. Come on, girl.
Yeah, I have it. I have the ideas. I have the things swirling in my head. I've even written a brief intro. So I've started writing it. I think I just stopped after maybe the third paragraph because again, I stand in my own way, hence the word run.
Yep.
So I need to keep encouraging myself to move, keep moving forward, believe not just in myself that I can do it, but that God has equipped me to do the thing that he's calling me to do. So for me, as I evaluate 2025, I see the movement. I see me not stopping. I see the way that I have continually moved. And I want to acknowledge and give my husband a shout out because he's enabled me to keep moving. Just the other night, he sat down with a printed sheet of chores for my boys. And we've never had a chore sheet, but he's like, look, guys, your mom has dreams too that she wants to pursue. And as long as she's doing your laundry and doing the dishes every night and doing all of these other things, that's time that, she's not spending doing the things that she wants to do. And being a homemaker and working out of the home and writing out of the home and doing these things, it is so distracting for me when I sit down to write and I see a sink full of dirty dishes, or I see a soccer ball in the middle of the floor, or dog toys, or dog hair. Oh my gosh, I vacuum every day. So all these things tend to build up and I end up doing those things because they're more pressing and I neglect my creative side. So he sat down with this chore sheet and he's like, y'all are going to do this, we're going to help mom out. And I was like, yes, thank you, honey. Like, I appreciate the support of people who love me, who've encouraged me to keep moving and who've helped enable me to keep moving.
Who's cheering you on?
Yeah.
Who's coming alongside of you and being like, you're not stopping. Right. You're going to keep moving forward. And if that means we have to push you forward, then we're going to push you forward until you can start running on your own.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's what those friends are for. So I guess to piggyback off of my word for last year, I do have a word for this coming year. I really do love the word. I'm not big into resolutions. I think it's silly to be like, oh, it's a new year, so I'm going to make some change. I can't do that. I love change and I love thriving in change, but I'm not the best at self-motivation. So I like words because I can live into the word, and the word can, I love talking about posture. Here I am again with my open arms flailing around as I talk. But I love a word because it's something that you can embrace and become and live into. And I guess that's why I like it. It just feels different than a resolution.
And I don't know what her word is. So you all are going to hear this at the same time that I do. Yeah.
Okay. So here it is.
Okay, what is it?
I have to give the backstory.
Okay.
So I went home last week for the holidays to visit my parents, and music is a really big thing in my household and in my family. And my dad was playing his playlist, which had some of his favorite songs and some of my mom's favorite songs. And a song came on that used to be, well, it's very significant to me and my mom. When I was younger, right around the time I got married, this song was very popular. It's called I Hope You Dance by Leanne Womack.
Oh, yeah. Love that song.
And when I'm with my mom, I can't listen to it and not cry. It's just one of those songs. It holds a very special sentiments for us. That was her prayer for me. I hope you dance, Heather. And so the song came on this playlist as we're all in the kitchen, and I think we were prepping dinner. And so I started singing it. My mom's tearing up, and, my dad's looking at us like, oh yeah, this just feels like it did, 20 years ago when the song came out. And in that moment when I heard the words, I hope you dance, I was like, dance, that's it. Dance, that's the word. And I think because for me, I'm my hardest critic. I'm very hard on myself. So just like I will get in the way of me moving forward, it's usually because I'm talking myself out of whatever it is that I feel like I'm supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I put a lot of pressure on myself to hit goals and do things a certain way because I think they're supposed to be done that way. And I don't like doing it that way. Let me see if I can reword it. I try very hard, let's say when it comes to writing. Okay, I write on Substack. If you've ever heard of Substack, it's an app for writers or readers. If you love to read, you can hop on there. You don't actually have to write, but you can read really great work by writers. So I write on Substack. My Substack newsletter is called A Holy Ruckus because I like to stir the pot and challenge status quos. But when I write, it's very easy to get in my head and think I have to post or write a certain amount per week in order to engage people or in order for my work to show up in some ridiculous algorithm, because if I write once every 2 months, my work isn't going to show up, or to feel like I have to just create content. I'm not a content creator. I'm a writer. I want to write when I'm inspired. I want to write with meaning. And so I wrestle with the culture, the writing culture versus how I want to put my writing into the world. So I find myself then thinking so much about that rather than dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And the dance for me, the word dance means instead of striving, I just want to thrive. I just want to be dancing. I don't want to worry about the moves. I don't want to worry about the steps or where my position is or any of that. I just want to be in the moment dancing and doing the things that I know I'm called to do without worrying about the technical aspects of what it is that I'm called to do. And I just want to trust that God is in the music, that He's the choreographer, that everything that is happening as I step in and embrace these movements, that He's going to carry me where I need to be. And so for me, I want to release the striving and thrive and dance.
I love it.
That's my word.
I like that word, dance. I love it. I love the meaning behind it. I think it totally speaks to you and taking some of the things that you struggle with and saying, we're going to take those struggles and we're going to try to push them forward.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to the run from last year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like it. I think it fits great.
You know what I also realized as I was thinking about this word? Run was my word last year, and I ran in a marathon.
I know. I was going to say that. We both ran in a marathon. Okay. I don't mind running. Heather hates running, hates it.
It's like a trauma for me to run, like legit, because
oh my gosh.
I mean, brief little story. I was in karate in high school, and for my black belt training, I had to run 3 miles in under 24 minutes. I had to do that twice in order to qualify to earn my black belt. I hated running. I was not a long distance runner. So I have these memories of like 8-mile runs with sprints in the middle, and it felt like torture because I had to do it. I wasn't doing it because I enjoyed it. I did it because I had to qualify for my black belt.
Yeah.
So now when I run, I just wanted to crawl across the finish line. But we ran last year for a very special occasion, and that was different. There was a special meaning behind the running. I ran because I love a friend, and that's why I did it. But it also, I think, meant something significant to me personally, especially with my word that I wasn't going to sit it out. I was going to run. I'm going to keep moving. And so I did it. And I may have almost died afterwards. I couldn't walk for like 3 days. But I still did it.
Well, you did. You did in the marathon. So we did a relay marathon. You had a hill, right? Do I remember that?
Yeah, I took the shortest distance because I'm like, it's the shortest distance.
So
but it had a
took
hill
it from me. I was supposed to run that. And she's like, Jamie, please. You were supposed to run 5.2 miles. You're like, please just switch with me. Can you run the 5.2? And I had no clue. I was just like, whatever. I guess I'll run 5.2 miles. Sure. I don't really mind running.
3.8, which 3.8 miles is not bad, but put a huge hill in the end. And I don't know if there was air in my lungs on that hill. Like I couldn't breathe in air. That's just where I was.
Oh, yeah. So, but hey, I'm proud of you that you did it. You going to do it this year?
Heck no. I'm never going to run again unless there's a special reason. But honestly, I hope there's no more special reasons. So, but yeah, no, I'm not a runner. I think another thing that really stands out this last year was, so my husband and I took our 3 boys on a road trip out west. We were gone for 3 weeks. It was a long road trip. We tent camped and visited national parks all up and down the West Coast. And it was an amazing experience. But I loved the time that we spent as a family, even in the car, even through the bickering and the boys fighting and yelling to get one another's feet out of each other's face. It held so much beauty for a family to be able to experience and stand next to a gaping mountain range. One of my favorite moments was this hike through the redwood forest. It was like nothing I've ever experienced. Sometimes I want to close my eyes and go back to the smell of the moss and the damp pine trees and the smell of wild sage, the trickling of a little creek next to us. And there's just dew. Everything felt magical and alive. All of my senses were alive. And to be able to experience that and talk through that with the boys, it was a very special connecting point for our family. I think as my boys get older, I have a junior in high school and a freshman. As those 2 get older, I know that time is fleeting that I have with them. And so I really valued those 3 weeks of being off the grid and not on our phones and just the 5 of us in the middle of nature, in the middle of nowhere, camping. And I was afraid that the mountain lion was going to come and attack us in the middle of the night. But apart from that, yeah, it was really great.
This is how nerdy I am. I'm like, yes, you had a great time. I heard about it. It was magical. I saw the pictures. And then the other side of Jamie's like, yeah, of course. Nature is so healing. Nature therapy. Of course, just like being in nature and having no technology and being surrounded by the wind. Those are the things that started popping up in my brain. Gosh, I'm so nerdy.
We all need a retreat in the mountains. I think it would be amazing, and I'm not even lying, to like accidentally get snowed in to a little tiny cabin out in the middle of nowhere and live there for like 6 months because the roads are closed. I would be totally fine with that. A soft snowfall. Like, see, I'm putting myself in that, back in those places. And oh man, that's where I could be. That's where I could be forever.
Yeah. The mountains do call. Mountains are calling me. I like the beach too. For me, I'd probably go to the mountains more than the beach.
All the way.
Yeah. It would be nice to have a beach near the mountains so I can also go to the beach. But if I had to pick one, I would pick mountains.
Yeah. I mean, Hawaii, right? Hawaii has both. I've never been to Hawaii. Jamie's been to Hawaii. And I know this because she's told me about the sea turtles. And then she got a sea turtle tattooed on her shoulder. And then we went to California where she had just gotten this story.
You're going to tell this story.
Has to be told. This has to be told.
We're going to do this.
So she got this sea turtle tattooed on her shoulder. And like we were in California with our hubbies and we made reservations at this very, very, very nice poshy California in the middle of wine country kind of restaurant.
Yeah.
And we get dropped off by our minivan Uber into this 5-star resort. And we're walking through this beautiful rose garden. And lo and behold, there's a stone statue sea turtle right there, just begging to be ridden by Jamie.
Huge. I mean, it was really calling my name.
Yeah. So I'm like, you're going to go hop on that and you're going to face me with your little sea turtle on your shoulder and I'm going to take a picture. So Jamie hops on it and is riding it like some wet and wild cowgirl. Her hand is up in the air. And so there's this woman in the distance walking by, just eyeing Jamie. I'm not really paying attention, but
She's looking at me and I'm like, oh, well,
yeah.
okay.
Well, so fast forward to dinner. We're sitting at the table. Jamie's sitting right across from me. And I'm looking at her, but out of the corner of my eye, right behind her is Katy Perry. So I'm like, how do I tell Jamie and Josh, who are sitting right across from me, that Katy Perry is sitting right behind them? And I don't want to make a scene because I'm not the kind of person that's going to make a scene. So I pull out my phone and I text her. Katy Perry is sitting right behind you. And so, of course, Josh is like, what? Katy Perry? And turns around and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Josh, what are you doing?
Yeah. But then Jamie sees her and she's like, oh, that's the woman that was walking by looking at me on the sea turtle.
Sure was. So you want to talk about, I don't know, embarrassing moments. I actually wasn't really embarrassed by it.
It was funny.
It's amusing to me.
Yeah.
But
it was pretty funny.
I mean, I was posing on a turtle. And it might have gotten a little out of control. And yeah, walking by me, watching the entire thing happen. It's a really, really funny story.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah, it was.
That's a fun story to tell.
Yes, it is.
I know you don't do a word or resolutions or anything, but do you see 2026? What do you want to say at the end of that year? What is this year pregnant with?
Oh, not with a baby, I can tell you that much.
Yes, obviously not with a baby.
Something that has come up recently for me is this feeling of I don't always have to be the one who's doing the investing. I shouldn't be the one who's always doing the inviting. I want to invite people. I want to bring people together, but I have to recognize when I'm not getting the invite or the friendship relationship is not being reciprocated.
Reciprocation is huge in a friendship. You and I have talked so much about this.
Yeah. And even though we've talked about it, it's something that I still struggle with. I think because I want to hold on to friendships. There's good memories with people, but I have to remind myself that it can't be one-sided. And it doesn't feel like that when I get together, but it's just something that I've been thinking about. And I feel like that's going into 2026, something that I want to bring to the forefront.
Yeah, I agree. That's been really hard for me as well. I feel like part of it is releasing the expectation of what you want the relationship to be and allowing it just to breathe on its own. And sometimes that might feel like you're letting go of something, but I think allowing it to breathe and letting it be allows it to become more in the future or stay where it is. I think so often we feel like we have to make a finite choice in our mind. Am I going to walk away from this person? No, we don't have to just walk away from people, but we can reorient ourselves around people. So where we used to spend a lot of time with somebody, maybe that looks like, hey, we're in a new season and we're not crossing paths as much anymore, or I'm not sensing that kind of reciprocity from you as much as I did in the past. So I'm going to let that relationship just breathe. I think when we switch the way that we view relationships as either all in or all out, if we keep our posture open to allowing it to breathe and be what it is, it enables us to have more fluidity. Like you talk about, and I may totally be off with this, but you talk about neuroplasticity in our minds.
Yeah.
What if we looked at relationships the same way? When we're not practicing a relationship or we're not actively pursuing a relationship, it might change a little bit. It might feel different. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist anymore. It's just not being
it's just not growing.
Yeah. Right. And so I think there's times when I look back at relationships in my life, we had a strong growing season with this particular relationship, but then we had kind of this quietness, but then it picked up again. And I think we create relationships that look a certain way or grow a certain way. And what's been really hard for me too, and I can relate to your word on reciprocity there, is that I think I can identify people that I really want to have a relationship with. I know when a person clicks or when I don't click with a person pretty quick. And so when I find somebody, I'm like, ooh, that person's fun, or I really like that person. And there isn't that reciprocity. I think I just feel disappointed. And I don't think I have
Mhm.
to feel rejected or neglected. There might be a disappointment that follows. But I think also, like you are working through, I've had to learn just how to release that disappointment and allow it just to be what it is without overthinking it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Coming from the person that overthinks. Yeah.
Oh, yes. The person who overthinks is telling the non-overthinker what I need to do. I mean, it's good. It's good. It's just hard to do. I need
Mhm.
you to reciprocate this
Mhm.
relationship. I need you to reciprocate the invitation. I need you to show me that I value
Mhm.
you and I
Yes.
value our time.
So you want to feel valued by the person.
Yes.
Because reciprocity speaks, I'm valued.
Yes.
Pursuing makes you feel valued. So what's the opposite then? If you're not receiving that invitation or that reciprocity from someone that you've pursued in the past and you feel like you have to release it, what does that do to your value? And how do you work through that?
It,
Are you really unvalued? And maybe the question is, are you really being unvalued? Or is that what you're telling yourself?
yeah, no, that's what I'm telling
Hmm.
myself.
Yeah.
And I think that comes from my
Hmm.
childhood and
Hmm.
the relationships I have with family members that haven't been healthy or aren't currently healthy. And I know that that's on me. That's just something in going into 2026.
Hmm.
I really just want to spend more time getting to know my thinking because even though I've grown a lot and I've changed some of my behavior patterns
Yeah.
and I've changed my brain. And if I could look at my past and been like, shoot, I probably shouldn't have had that reaction or I shouldn't have done that if I would have been healthy, I wouldn't have done that. I'm still always going to be growing. So I know there's
Hmm.
things that I still think that I'm like, gosh, dang it, that's unhealthy. So I just want to continue to grow.
Hmm.
And I think in 2026, one of the things that I want to grow in is just my negative thinking.
Yeah, that's good because I feel like when and I can only speak to this because I've walked through this too with the issue of reciprocity. Because you're right, there's this sense of feeling unvalued when you
Yeah.
feel like you're doing all the work in a relationship. But what if instead of continually focusing on the lack of reciprocity and just focus on the people who are investing?
Hmm.
And really enriching those relationships. So it's nothing's changed, but we're refocusing. We're putting our attention and shifting our perspective onto what we have and growing what we have in our life rather than focusing on the things that we want that we aren't getting.
Hmm. Yeah. I like that. I should think like that. This is why I have you to call this stuff out in me.
I'll remind you. I mean, I work through it too. I still have the same thoughts.
Yeah.
That's a hard one. Reciprocity is hard. I think when you're a natural giver and you love gathering people up and you love hosting, you almost sort of take on that role where other people expect you to do that. And so
Hmm.
I've waded through that a lot, feeling like, oh, this doesn't happen unless I gather everybody together. And I'm like, sometimes I want to be invited to the thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to host the thing.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not wallowing. I think that's just a very real emotion that people can probably relate to. I think it's easy to look at. Again, we reference social media because it plays such a prominent role in our social lives. But we can look at pictures and see who gathers with whom and where and what they're doing and all of that. And you don't always understand the whole story behind that or what everybody in the picture is feeling or
Right.
if
Yep.
everybody in the picture even feels like they belong in the picture.
Hmm. This is typically how conversations go with Heather and I.
Mhm.
One of us say, this is how I'm feeling. This is
Mhm.
what I'm struggling with. And then the other person essentially counsels them through that. This was real time Heather
Yeah.
counseling Jamie.
Uh,
I think though the other part of 2026 that I 100% agree with you. Is your vacation in California helped you realize time is fleeting with your kids? Gosh, I'm always thinking that. It's actually something that I'm kind of scared of. It almost brings me fear. I want to grab every single one of those freaking moments.
Yeah.
And I want them to just be so cute and perfect. And I don't want to forget them. And then when they don't go the way that I wanted them to, I have to remind myself, it's okay. Yes. So I think I don't always need to have expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Open posture. See, it all comes back to an open posture.
It all comes back to it.
Catch and release, catch and release. Sometimes we hold on to things so tightly. And sometimes I think we need to catch the moment, absorb its beauty, acknowledge what's happening around us, and then release it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I look into 2026. I think I want you just to remind me to keep dancing. I kind of already asked for that, but that's a legitimate request because I know even right now I will come up with any excuse in the book to not sit down and write. And I think deep down, maybe there's this fear of failure, or what if I don't get it right? Or what if I run out of things to say? Or what if I write 4 chapters and I've said enough and it's not the length of a book? These are the thoughts in my head. I will talk myself out of anything. So I need you to keep telling me to dance. Because I think if I feel free, if I really am twirling and dancing and allowing God to choreograph my steps, then I'm going to be able to do exactly what I set out to do.
Okay. I'm going to hold you to that.
Okay.
So when you get in your spiraling thinking, do you want me to punch you?
You know what? We have a song. Oh, we just got to dance it out. Do you remember, did you ever watch Grey's Anatomy?
Yes.
Okay. So do you remember how Meredith and
who's the other one?
Why can I not think of what her name is?
Whoever the other girl
and
is.
They would always dance it out.
Yes.
They would always dance it out.
Okay.
Maybe that's what so what's my song? Still Dre.
Still Dre.
I don't know. We'll come up with a good one. It needs to be something that
a club song. We looking at a club song? Shut.
No, not that one, because I want to actually be able to sit down and work. So if we're going to dance it out, it just needs to be good.
Let's come up with that. Yeah.
All right. We'll let y'all know what we settle on. So if you ever see me, you can play the song too. Just be like, keep going, Heather, keep writing.
I wouldn't actually punch Heather, but we joke a lot about how she's afraid of me.
I always joke about Jamie being the violent one, but I'm probably the more violent one. Now we all know that I was in karate. So
yes,
I'm constantly sparring my husband in the kitchen. That poor man keeps me sharp. So
yeah, it does. All right, people. Hopefully you enjoyed our very real conversation of looking back in 2025 and looking forward in 2026. Got to know Heather and I a little bit better. Hopefully it inspired you to look at 2026 and the things that you want to do, the things you want to change, the things you want to build.
And share it with your friends.
Yeah.
Sit down with your people, grab a dessert out, share a table with a few of your girlfriends and ask these questions and wrestle through them. And don't shy away from asking, what was the hardest part about 2025? Was there a part that you really struggled with? Are there things that you feel like you need to release as you step into 2026? Ask those questions. Don't just go for the highlight reels, but dig in deep.
Yeah. So thank you for listening. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify or YouTube, if you could click that follow button, then you would be able to see when we drop a new episode.
Yeah, sounds good.
So thanks for listening. Take care.
Bye.